Holidays are a time where many people may consider adding another dog to a family, getting a puppy, or getting a new dog in general. And so, before you think about purchasing a dog, adopting a dog, there's three things that you want to consider before you purchase a puppy. Okay, so I want to jump into those three things just to make sure that when you're looking into getting a dog, that you're considering the right things. A lot of times when we think about getting puppies, I'm not saying everyone, we go look at the website or we think about the cuteness or there's certain aspects that we like about a dog and we may choose that way. But there's definitely three things that you want to consider moving forward. So my name is Pamela Brown with Down for Paws Dog Training. We help make life living with your dogs way easier. Okay. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing you want to think about, and I would say this one's the most important, is the time commitment. So getting a puppy requires a significant amount of time and commitment. And so I always say, think about, I hear a lot of times, oh, I always wanted a dog. Now's the perfect time because I have time. What does that look like for you? When you think about getting a puppy, I oftentimes say having a puppy is just like having a baby. Not saying you have to take time off from work, but you just want to make sure that you have the time and commitment to give your puppy what they need for as play and training. And also, just in general, puppies they can be a little bit overwhelming. And so I always say, when it comes to time and commitment, look at your family dynamics. Think about what does it look like, not only when you're going to get the puppy that month, but what does the next year look like? Why I say that is because puppy behaviors tend to last up to a year and then they turn into teenage dogs. So you want to take into consideration what does the next year look like? Are your kids going to be in sports? Are you going to be busy at work? Are you moving? Are you changing house? So you definitely want to make sure the time commitment that you're thinking about for your puppy is just not in the time of when you're just getting a puppy. Think a little bit more so in the future. So putting that, with that being said, I always say, is a puppy the right dog to get for you? Do you need an older dog? Although you want a puppy, really do take that time commitment into consideration and think about if a puppy's the best age dog to get at this time. Two, think about your lifestyle and space. It's a crucial to consider how well your dog will fit into your lifestyle and space. Again, exercise requirements, the temperament of the dog, looking at your whole family's lifestyle, especially if you have another dog in the house, you want to think about, is your other dog going to like that dog? The dog that you're getting, if you have family that goes on vacations, is your dog going to be able to come with you? Is your dog going to stay home? Does the dog you're getting require a lot of exercise? I want you to start looking at the breed and what the breed requires to be taken care of. You can go directly to the AKC website, type in the breed that you're looking to get, and then they will tell you what the temperament of the dog is, the training, how stubborn they are, or how easy they are to train. And that will give you a good idea of whether they fit into your lifestyle. But you definitely want to take that into consideration as well. Last but not least, the financial responsibility. I think a lot of times, I always try to talk to families about getting health insurance or insurance for your dog, especially when they're puppies, because one, is a little bit cheaper, and two, insurances, if they have any type of pre-existing conditions, they're not going to cover it. So if you wait till they get older and say they get an ear infection, they'll never cover it. But you definitely want to think about getting pet insurance. I always say it's cheaper than the latter, with your dog actually not having insurance. And then, for example, my dog, I have insurance for all my dogs, but I just imagine one of my dogs had like a back issue. The whole ordeal cost $8,000, right? If I didn't have insurance, then it just would have been overwhelming for me to try to get that money and things of such. There's various different types of insurances out there. If you're not going to get insurance, I do recommend setting money aside each month or however often you are going to set it aside, just so you'll have that little safety net. So if your dog does have to go to the vet, because I promise you, the worst thing is your dog going to the vet, right? And they're like, oh, they need an x-ray or they need surgery. That's going to be $6,000. And then you're like, I can't afford that. But then you feel bad because your dog's like your kid. And it's almost like saying, I can't, if, you know, I, it's a sucky situation. So either way, just make sure that you're putting money to the side or you're checking out health insurances. Oh, what I was going to say, there's several different health insurances out there, but my all-time favorite, what I've been using for over 8 years, is Trupanion. What I would say is, yes, of course, I went with the cheapest one first. That was $60 a month. But what ends up happening with a lot of insurances is that you have to wait to be reimbursed and you have to pay up front. Do you have $5,000 to pay up front? Do you want to wait and hope that you be reimbursed? So although Trupanion can be a little bit more expensive, they do direct vet pay where when you go and they're like, oh, your dog needs surgery, Trupanion's going to cover 80%. You're just going to give me, $500. That's way better than paying out of pocket. So that's why I use Trupanion. But definitely look around and choose the one that's suitable for you. If you feel as though, oh gosh, it's trying to be expensive, I need something, get something in the time being, and then you can always switch later. It's better safe than sorry. So those are the three things you want to consider when getting a dog. Let me just run right through them again. Time and commitment. Definitely make sure you have the time and commitment to put into your dog. Like I say, don't think about it in the moment. Think about the next year with your dog, just because puppies stay puppies for a year. So you just don't want to think about the month you're getting them. Lifestyle and living space. So if you're living, in an apartment, are you going to have a Great Dane that needs to run? I'm not saying that you cannot get those dogs, because I have trained dogs that were like, oh, they're in an apartment here, they would do better, on a farm. But belong to you give them the requirements and the needs that they need, belong to give them the requirements that they need for that breed, then you should be okay. So belong to taking a greyhound out and give them that exercise and stuff. So I don't want you to mistake what I'm saying. It's like, don't get a dog if you don't have the space for it. Financial responsibility, again, putting money to the side, getting health insurance, just so that if things go awry, you're not freaking out or feeling bad that you don't have the money for it. So with the holidays approaching, and even after the holidays, if you're thinking about getting a puppy, please make sure you keep these tips in mind. As always, if you have questions, just drop them in the comments. If you are a person that loves podcasts, you can find me on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, at Positive Dog Training Combos. Other than that, enjoy your day, and I will see you next week with another live topic. Bye.